of the 7 drivers making his first start. He was one of our spotlight drivers.
See Hornaday here mixing it up with David Starr. It's Ricky Carmichael.
Ricky Carmichael getting by David Starr. Remember, David Starr is a former winner here at Martinsville.
That puts Carmichael into the top 10. Hornaday follows through into 11th.
Great side-by-side battling continuing all around the racetrack. Jason White on the inside, David Starr on the outside. Here comes Mario Goslin in that number 12 tire monkey.
Johnny Benson is recovered. Now he's right behind the 81 of David Starr.
He thought he had a flat. I guess it's all that rubber that he got built up on his tires when he spun up high, Phil. You can see there's our leader, Kevin Harvick, just put the 47 truck of Brett Butler a lap down. So now he's starting to work on that top 20. Brett's running in the 21st spot in his truck.
There's Rick Crawford, the 14 truck, right in front of Kevin Harvick. Remember that flat tire that caused Rick to come to pit road.
19 now on the lead lap, right?
Johnny Sauter running in second in that Sealmaster truck, but he just came on the radio and said, I'm starting to develop a front tire problem. Crew Chief Joe Shear Jr. said, do you know which one? He said, it's feeling like it's the right front, but I'm not totally sure. He said, we have to pit as soon as possible.
You know, Goodyear actually brought a little different tire here, and they say really the only difference from last year is they toughened up the bead where you get that bead heat from the brakes.
So Johnny Sauter trying to make his way toward the front as he sits second, and we've got a spin on the racetrack. That's the 46 of Clay Greenfield. Will that bring the caution out? Yes, it does.
And this will be the first opportunity for a lot of the front-running trucks to make their decision.
Don't hit the curb when you go down there.
These trucks are pitting, don't you think, Phil?
I think they are. We're almost 75 laps into this race.
And then if they do,
then you still have an option of coming back later. There's Butch Hilton just taking over this 2 truck since Atlanta.
Our second caution of the day from Martinsville as we've completed 74 laps of the 250 scheduled. A lot of people talking about what strategy they would use for coming onto pit road. Here's a look at what happened.
That was Rick Crawford, the 14, right in front of our leader, Kevin Harvick.
I told you action would pick up when the leaders got to your back bumper. That's exactly. Crawford said, I got to go. Hits Clay Greenfield and spins him around.
Just slight contact, but that's all it takes.
Pit road is open, and here come the leaders. That is Kevin Harvick leading the field down pit road. Right.
Down on my end, it'll be Johnny Sauter hitting first. He is in pit stall number 29. Sauter said that he feels like they got to get that front tire looked at. They're going to go 4 tires across this way and make an air pressure adjustment on the right sides there to try to help him roll through the center a little bit. Adam?
And his teammate just up the road, Matt Crafton, comes in. Right side tires going on. It will be a 4-tire stop for the 88. They will top off the fuel tank. They did not call for any adjustments. Leader Kevin Harvick in pit stall number 1. He said he's a little bit free. They want to make an adjustment. It will be slight. 4 tires and fuel. This stop coming beyond lap 70, so they will be able to go the distance from here. And it looks like Harvick will be the first off pit road. Ray?
4 tires and an adjustment. It'll be wedge on the right rear for the 17. They had trouble for some reason getting into the pit stall for Timothy Peters, so lengthy stop down on this end.
There's a tire.
There's a tire on the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
Wow. How'd that happen?
You don't see that every day. I'll tell you that right now.
That may be the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Quite possibly the first time we've seen a tire on the hood.
You don't think it was
truck.
a tire monkey that threw a tire on there?
I sure hope Mario Goslin had nothing to do with it.
Here comes Mario. He said, I didn't have anything to do with that.
But they're gonna be able to figure out whose tire that was because it's going to be plainly marked.
There it goes. Yeah. Got away from the 3 truck. It looks like.
Looks like Austin Dillon's truck, and it just lands on the hood just as nice as you please. And then Johnny Sauter will shake it loose coming down the backstretch.
Normally you try to throw a dime on a plate and you can't make it stick. How about a tire on the hood?
That takes talent right there.
That does take talent. Are you ready to discover NASCAR Nation's next great superstar? Introducing Fast Track to Fame. Join our own host Michael Waltrip and Chris Thompson as America's Most Unique performs. Cut loose each week and compete for their chance to become a star. It's the talent competition so wild that it could only happen trackside. Don't miss Fast Track to Fame Monday on Speed. How would they have rated that maneuver on pit road, Michael?
I think that's a 300. I mean,
everyone would have gave 100 for that. Green flag in the air. We're back underway. the Longhorn Chevrolet.
Oh, something happens to Kevin.
No, he's going to let his teammate grab the lead.
Hornaday out in front of him. Harvick starts up front. He lets Hornaday go by him for the lead. Adam.
And out front, the 33 of Ron Hornaday, he got track position by taking left side tires. Remember, he only took right side tires when he pitted back at lap 28. And under caution, Kevin Harvick said to his spotter, Billy O'Day, Billy, you know what's going to happen here, right? Almost like wink, wink. We're going to let Hornaday jump out in front. I guess everyone got the memo because the defending series champion now has the field in tow.
Yeah, guys, Hornaday has dug himself a huge hole early in the season with a couple of crashes, and he needs to get 5 points worse than ever. He needs to start trying to chip away at that deficit that he's facing, and looks like he's got his 2 tires. He got some track position thanks to his owner, Kevin Harvick, and he's driving away from these guys.
You know, Ron Hornaday, the only time he ever had less points after 2 races when he was running the full schedule was 2006. And I mean, that was actually 13 more points than he has right now. This is the least he's ever had. And oh, by the way, that was the worst points finish he's ever had, which was 7th when he ran all the races. So he really has a deep hole to dig out from under. Side by sides.
Caution's out.
We got a caution on the racetrack. A little contact there, the 2 and the 85.
Before that, Johnny Sauter drove around Kevin Harvick and grabbed that 2nd spot. We hadn't seen anybody be able to even keep up with Harvick, and here comes Johnny Sauter driving around him.
We'll see if Johnny Sauter was actually in front of Harvick at the loop before the caution came out. Hornaday out in front of the field at Martinsville. Welcome back to the Kroger 250 from Martinsville Speedway. Here in Martinsville, Virginia. Gorgeous day for short track racing. Camping World Truck Series. This is the 3rd event of the 2010 season. 17 of Timothy Peters back on the racetrack. Ray Dunlap, what's happening with the team?
Well, guys, I'm having trouble with my monitor down here. We can't see, so I'm sorry. I'm going to have to throw it back to you.
All right. It looks like they've got a tire problem. The right rear, they didn't quite get it on, it looks like.
Yeah, didn't have any of the lug nuts on that wheel, and then Jackman let the jack down and went around to the left side, so that's what caused him to have poor track position. Now Timothy's being shown in the 14th position. Truck that's capable of running up on the top 5 easily.
It's like the Jackman assumed that the right rear guy was done, and he certainly wasn't anywhere near done. Cost him a lot of track position. That truck hadn't performed like we talked to Timothy this morning about the race today. And he's very confident in that 17 truck. Won here last year.
So Hornaday, after an impressive pit stop, was able to get to the outside of Harvick. Harvick led him by for the lead. Now he has the inside line. Harvick runs 2nd. Sauter, Crafton, and Almirola are your top 5. Coming out of turn 4, green flag back in the air.
Does Hornaday let him back by, Phil? I'd say yes.
Absolutely.
I believe he does.
Yeah. Mission accomplished.
Got him his 5 points. Those other boys were getting on my nerves when I was back there. So you block them for a while.
And now race for the lead, race for the win is the situation that they're in.
Oh, look at there, 3 wide, tight quarters off turn 4.
Brian Eichler to the inside of Matt Crafton. That's a battle for the 4th position.
Eichler saw an opportunity around the lap truck of Chris Lafferty, but he had to squeeze it in there, Phil, and he made it work, or he's making it work.
They're still side by side, all the way back through the field. See Ty Bodine moving up. Eichler gets that spot for Matt Crafton.
Side by side, Sauter and Hornaday. Sauter takes 2nd away from Hornaday.
Sauter had done this.
Trouble.
Got a spinner.
Brent Raymer in the 85s going the wrong direction, and the caution comes out once again.
And I bet you Johnny Sauter says, surely
I'm going to get that one.
I was 2nd that time. Because, you know, that could be the difference between Sauter leading this race just when that caution came out. Because had he been around Kevin Harvick when the caution flew, he would have been up beside Ron Hornaday racing for the lead. But he wasn't. He passed Hornaday just as the caution fell. We'll have to see if NASCAR thinks he's able to stay in that position.
Take a look at this now. This is when Brian Eichler is going to stick his nose in between Chris Lafferty and the 88. They make a little bit of contact. Wow, that's Martinsville short track racing right there.
There was no room left. What a great job by Brian Eichler to get in that hole.
Keep an eye on that. See what happened to Brent Raymer. That was a situation going in turn 3. They were 3 wide. The same 89 truck of Chris Lafferty. Brent Raymer was in the middle, made a little contact, and around he went.
Chris needs to pick up the pace. He's caused a couple of crashes, and you remember when he was a part of the player in the 3 wide pass that Eichler pulled off. So
he still has a piece of the 85 truck in his right front corner.
That was riding along with Hermie Sadler. He had an interesting view of what just took place on the racetrack. And the 6 of DJ Kennington.